meeting.
Good evening, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order and ask that you join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, we are recognizing Bob Boxer on the occasion of his retirement, and I'd like to welcome forward his grandchildren to help us lead the pledge. There are lots of Scouts and Brownie Scouts out in this group, including Tyson, who just attained the rank of Eagle Scout on July 14th. Congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment. We're really proud of you, and I hope that you're proud of yourself. We'd also like to invite forward Tony, Leland, Chloe, Penny, Maddie, Cannon, Deacon, and Jackson to join us to lead the pledge. Would you like to as well? You want to do that one? Huh? All right. Oh, yeah, come on up. He's serious. Stand right here. Look, you get to stand in the chair. All right, ready? All right, you see our flag right there? You want to? Oh wait, there's more. There's more. Come on up. Come on, I got you. Can I hold you?
And I will chill.
Do you want to stand on the chair? Oh, hello. There goes my mic. Bob, you're going to make sure you remember us. All right, right. You see our flag right here? You ready? Get your hand like that. Here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, you guys. Nicely done. All right. Nicely done.
Get down.
Here we go. Thank you. Wow, that was fun. We should have you guys come every week. Before we get started tonight, I do want to take just a second to publicly congratulate Dana Singer, who's hiding behind a pole back there, I know, but there she is. She was recently promoted to work as our director of the Department of Public Works since Bob has had the nerve to retire and leave us behind. She worked so hard to reach out to our citizens. It's just a joy to have you on staff, and there's not a better woman for the job, and we're thrilled to have you, so congratulations, Dana. We have several sets of minutes up for approval. I'll ask for separate motions on each. Is there a motion to approve the July 5th work session minutes?
So moved. Second.
Discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the July 11th public hearing minutes?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? And that motion carries. We have a couple of presentations this evening. We're going to start off with the presentation of the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. It's my pleasure to announce that the town of Herndon has received this Certificate of Achievement for excellence in the financial reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for its comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2016. This is just the 42nd year in a row that we have received this honor since it was first submitted in 1975. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of government accounting and financial reporting, and we're really pleased to be recognized and have our staff recognized for this significant accomplishment by the management and its finance department. So we'd like to congratulate Jenny Tripoli, who is our director of finance. She's hiding behind another pole. Oh, look, she's not hiding. I like it. and of course, the entire staff of finance on this award. Are there comments from the council? Mr. McKenna.
Just want to congratulate you in regards to this because it's no easy feat, and you see so many things happening. We had more and more cutbacks on the federal and state level, and you hear it not just in the government side, but in regular commerce and the regular world is saying do more with less. And the fact that you come in year out with these amazing things, and the finance department is definitely something to be proud of. So thank you very much for all your work.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments? Sure. Ms. Olin, followed by the Vice Mayor.
Yes, I'd also like to thank the Department of Finance.
being on the council and you go to meetings like the Virginia Municipal League and you see the size of other communities and the fact that they don't have staff or they have very few staff, the professionalism of our staff is awesome, and it's reflected in things like this recognition that you're getting tonight. So we appreciate all you do, and I certainly let people know out in the community.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I would just add, there's been a change in leadership with our Director of Finance in the last year, and she has just come in, and it's still been seamless. So to still be recognized, knowing that Jenny and her staff continue to do great work for the town, there's certainly something really important as we talk to citizens, any of us up here, about making sure that we spend our tax dollars wisely, right, and that it's well reported and well taken care of. That's just a critical role of our town management. So thank you for your service on that front.
Thank you. I would like to invite down the entire town council, the town manager and town attorney, and of course, Jenny Tripoli and anyone who's here from finance, past and present, that would like to come forward.
It is. It really is. I always have to ask if this is on, but it sounds like it is. So, good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. Thank you very much for recognizing the Department of Finance, technically because this is the 2016 CAFR. It's really the team, Jerry and Myra and Trish, and of course Mary Tui is here tonight. These are all in arrears, and so the team really did an excellent job getting the financial report out on time and earning the award. Although for what it's worth, Fairfax City got theirs too, and that was partially me. So the streak isn't broken, but
Hey, language.
just had to put that out there. But the team really does work very hard. There's a lot of work to be done. It's a great team. I feel very, very fortunate to be here serving the town of Herndon and working with this wonderful team. And thank you all again for the opportunity, and thank you again for tonight and the recognition.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next, we have Resolution 17G65, expressing appreciation to Robert B. Boxer, Director of Public Works, on the occasion of his retirement. This evening, we're honored to recognize you, Bob. You've been with the town for quite a long time, and we're sad to see you go, but you've never looked happier, I have to say. The council will read the presentation into the record, followed by council comments, and then I would like to welcome, before we get started, our special guests that are here tonight to honor Bob. Bob, so much of his family is here. His wife, Wendy, is here, and his children and grandchildren. Former Vice Mayor Darrell Smith and his wife, Maria. Former council member Richard Downer. Former council member and Vice Mayor Connie Hutchinson and council member Charlie Waddell. Former town manager Art Ansleen and his wife Susan are here. Director of Finance Mary Tui, who's recently retired, and Bob's following in her footsteps. Of course, Dana Singer from Department of Public Works, and Tammy Chastain, who's also our Deputy Director of Public Works. And lots of our DPW staff are here as well. We're pleased to have you. I've received several emails and comments wishing Bob well that people wanted me to read into the record that were unable to be here. Former town manager Steve Owen asked me to convey his congratulations and best wishes to Bob for an exciting journey into retirement. Former council member Bill Tyrrell also reached out and offered his best wishes to you in your retirement, as well as former council member Harlan Reese, who's out of town, and asked that I read the following statement into the record. Mr. Reese says, I have the highest regard for Bob Boxer, the man, the engineer, and the department manager. Under his leadership, the Public Works Department has excelled and won the praise of residents and our community. I'm most grateful for his service to the town of Herndon, and I wish for him a long and fulfilling retirement. Sincerely, Harlan Reese. So with that, I will call on Councilmember Davidson to begin reading the resolution. Mr. Davidson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Town of Herndon Resolution 17G03 to express appreciation to Robert B. Boxer, Director of Public Works, for dedicated service from May 2003 through August 2017. Whereas, with an illustrious career in local government spanning more than 43 years, Robert B. Boxer, Director of Public Works, began his career as a design engineer with Edwards and Kelsey Consulting Engineers in New Jersey, served as project engineer with the Department of Transportation and Environmental Services in Alexandria, and in several capacities with Fairfax County's Department of Public Works and Environmental Services, culminating as the director of the Construction Management Division, and
Whereas his educational and professional background is extensive and includes a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from the New Jersey Institute of Technology, go Highlanders, a certificate from the leading education and developing program of University of Virginia, member in the American Public Works Association, the Virginia Professional Engineer's License, which he has held since 1976, and he was the adjunct professor at Northern Virginia Community College from 2001 to 2002, and
Whereas in May 2003, Mr. Boxer was hired as the Director of Public Works for the town of Herndon, where he has remained dedicated to serving the citizens of the town for more than 14 years. And whereas as Director of Public Works, Mr. Boxer was responsible for all facets of municipal engineering and public works services, placing priority on customer service and the delivery of quality services. And whereas working to enhance the quality of life for Herndon citizens throughout his career, Mr. Boxer worked with the mayor, town council, and staff on numerous projects, too many to list, but some of which include the completion of the golf course maintenance facility, the cemetery administration and maintenance building, the purchase of 397 Herndon Parkway and the Herndon Police Station build-out, the Community Center Phase 4 and the Town Shop additions, the skateboard park, the W&OD trail lighting, gateway signs, Herndon's first synthetic turf field, the Sugarland Run Trail, and through his leadership, the town has received 3 Virginia Municipal League Green Government certifications. And
whereas during his tenure at the town, Mr. Boxer was responsible for executing significant road and intersection improvement projects, some of which included projects at Wood, Nash, Oak, and Pearl Streets, South Eldon Street, Drainsville Road, Station Street, Downtown Streetscape, Herndon Parkway, Sterling Road, Herndon Parkway at Van Buren Street, and the Park Avenue Monroe Street intersection, and
Whereas, always working to find solutions to complex challenges and committed to excellence, Mr. Boxer implemented many innovative programs for the town, including the rental neighborhood inspection programs, automated refuge collection, single stream recycling, the automated water meter reading system, and the customer relationship management system, which allows citizens and staff to submit electronic service requests through the town's website, Herndon on the Go app. And
Whereas Mr. Boxer successfully led the operations of the Department of Public Works, which included hosting big truck days, community cleanup weeks, holiday decorations, leaf collection and recycling events, providing key support during special events such as the Herndon Festival, 4th of July celebration, Friday Night Live, and the Labor Day Festival, serving in critical roles during snow removal operations, storm responses, and other emergency situations. And whereas Mr. Boxer has earned the admiration and respect of citizens and his colleagues at the town of Herndon for his dedication, collegiality, enthusiasm, professionalism, sense of humor, and hard work. And whereas in August 2017, Mr. Boxer retired from his position as the Town of Herndon's Director of Public Works, having completed a distinguished career of more than 43 years of public service with over 14 years at the Town of Herndon.
Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the town council of the town of Herndon, Virginia, hereby express our deepest respect and appreciation for Robert B. Boxer, Director of Public Works, for the loyal and dedicated service he's provided to the citizens of the town of Herndon, and thank him for being a true embodiment of the Herndon spirit. Be it further resolved that the mayor and the town council of the town of Herndon, Virginia, hereby congratulate Mr. Boxer on the occasion of his retirement and wish Mr. Boxer continued success in all his endeavors, and expresses our hope for his continued health, happiness, and prosperity. And with that, it is with great honor and privilege that I move approval of Resolution 17G65.
Second.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Are there comments from council? Madam Vice Mayor?
Sure, I'll start. And I know there's going to be a lot of comments tonight, so you'll hear, I'm sure, similar themes. We've been really lucky in the town to have Bob's leadership for the past 14 years. It's an incredibly critical role within the town, the Department of Public Works. It's our largest organization. It's our largest department. You have the services that are so public to our citizens, right? They notice when their trash isn't picked up. They notice when their streets aren't plowed. And they certainly make it known to us when those things happen, right? But what we usually hear, what we hear very regularly, is how well and how wonderful your staff is to interact with. I know for me, when I take walks, because I walk all the time, as you guys know, the DPW staff, I mean, they're just super friendly. So I get a lot of waves, and they're just a really great staff to interact with. And that comes from leadership, right? That comes from someone at the top who's friendly and approachable, and that sense of humor. And he's someone that knows how to both get things done, but also be collaborative and listen and hear what his staff has to say, look for good ideas, implement those, but with this quiet force, right? So I really love and appreciate that about Bob. So thank you for that. We will miss you. Thanks for leaving us in really good hands with Dana as well.
Thank you. Other comments from council? Ms. Olam.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your service the last 14 years. And I'm one of those citizens that before I was on the council, I always knew who the Public Works people were, and you are by far my favorite department head of Public Works, because you have always just set the temperament for everyone over there, and you can tell they feel like you're there with them and you're supportive. But we're going to miss you. Everyone on the island gives their regards. But I told them I would give them Dana's email as soon as possible, and they're looking forward to having a great relationship with Dana. But yeah, I'm definitely going to miss you, and we'll always have fond memories. And you got a free pass to the island anytime. Come on over. Bring the grandkids for Halloween.
Yeah. Thank you. Ms. Friedrichs.
Bob, as you know, we haven't worked together for very long, but I do appreciate your kindness, your understanding of the very complicated issues that you have to deal with. And it's a really tough job, and I have a lot of respect for that. So I appreciate you, and thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Ms. Cunningham.
Well, Bob, congratulations. I know it's a bittersweet thing to leave a group of people that you've really enjoyed working with. And for us, it's really bittersweet because we have really enjoyed working with you. The longevity of our DPW staff is really a testament to your leadership and management. Nobody really wants to leave Herndon. Nobody really wants to leave DPW because they have too much fun at work. I'll never forget, probably 3 or 4 terms ago when I came home and you were talking about sewer hookups and the different size pipes. And I'm like, I cannot believe this man is making water and sewer this interesting. But it was really it was fascinating. And I'll always remember that's like, that's just very Bob. Bob loves what he does. He makes it easy for people to understand. It's the nuts and bolts of running the town. And not only did you love it and you did it well, you instilled that in not just your staff, but in us too. So I know you're really going to enjoy it. I've enjoyed hearing about your family, who I've known for some time, and really enjoy yourself. But don't go too far because we're going to miss you.
Thank you. Mr. McKenna.
Well, even though we didn't work that long, I do have a kinship because you went to school in New Jersey, and we had to kind of stick together because New Jersey gets beat up a lot in many ways. So, but I do want to thank you for when I reached out when I was running and when I got on council. You sat down with me and went over everything that you thought that was important, and I truly appreciate that because I really have come to love this town, and you're one of the reasons why, because you have a great combination of intelligence and kindness that this world sorely needs. And you're an amazing person, and I'm certainly going to miss you because not only from what you knew, but also because you used to bust my chops a lot. So and as my dad would always say, you're only as good as the wonderful woman that's next to your side. So just know that we truly appreciate everything for letting us have them every Tuesday night. So now I don't know what you're going to do on Tuesdays, but congratulations.
They're going to watch the meetings at home, I'm sure. What else would they do?
Lord help us. Thank you very much for your...
Mr. Davidson.
Bob, I would just want to congratulate you on your 43 years, is it? Wow, incredible career that you've had. I know that you and I have shared some moments up on the second floor and in the cheap seats, as we called them at the time. And I wanted to thank you particularly for the tour of the DPW facility down at 1481 in the other building. Along the way, there has not been a public event that you weren't part of, so the success of the town is in large part the success of what you've done to make those events happy. So I want to thank you for all those things. Please come back and talk to us. Let us know how it's going.
Thank you. Bob, I've just so enjoyed getting to know you. You have been such a force, such a positive force. Because what people don't realize about DPW is you don't really think about DPW until there's an emergency. And when there's 3 feet of snow or a broken water main that's up over, broken overnight or any other, there are so many things like that. Bob is there, and his crews are there behind him. And I just can't thank you enough. Your grace under pressure. I've never seen you say a negative thing about anyone. And let me tell you, that's not an easy thing when you are at the in the middle of a crisis where people, can't get out of their houses because of snow, or they can't get through, they have no water for 2 days because of a water main break. So I just want to thank you for your leadership and your friendship. And I think the Vice Mayor mentioned the crews and how we get more compliments on DPW than anything any of us do. I mean, we say that every week, and it's totally true. And a testament to that was during the snowstorm 2 years ago that we still haven't gotten over, even though we only got like 3 inches of snow this year. We got 3 feet last year, and we got a lot of calls, and it was a pretty dire situation. But more of the calls that I got weren't aggravated or upset that they weren't plowed out yet. I got more than a few calls saying, are they okay? They're usually here by now. Do they need help? So that's just a testament to the kind of organization that you run. And I got you a little snow plow for next year, so you can sit there and laugh at it while we're digging out from the next snowstorm. But thank you, Bob, for everything. I know you're not going far, and we'll see you around, and I'm certainly thrilled that our paths have crossed professionally. Thank you. We have, I need to actually remember to call the question because this is a resolution. So we did have the motion on the floor to approve the resolution was,
Yeah.
yes, I was repeating that it was made, the motion was made by the chair and seconded by the vice mayor. And if there's no further discussion on the dais, I will call the question on that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that motion carries, of course. I would like to now recognize Mr. Bill Ashton, our town manager, who'd like to make a few remarks. Just remember, you get to go last, Bob. And all the speakers should probably remember that, too.
I think I need to remember he gets to go last. No, the resolution really summarizes an incredible career, and there's not a whole lot I can say about you as a professional that hasn't been said already in that resolution, and the council alluded to it. But on behalf of staff, I want to educate the folks out there about you as a man, as a coworker, as a colleague. The kindness and the gentleness you bring to work every day is an inspiration. It tells us that no matter how bad things are, if you keep your mind in the right place, you'll muddle through it somehow. And that's a lesson I learned from you early on, and I really appreciate you bringing that to the table. Also, it was mentioned slightly, your sense of humor. sitting around the management team table talking about some incredibly just things that just drag you down, and you would just throw a one-liner in there just to relieve the mood and change the tone. You were able to change the tone at that table with just a few words. That is a unique talent that we were so blessed to have at that management team table. One of the other things that always struck me about you too, Bob, and it really started hitting me in these past few months as acting town manager and ultimately when I became town manager, is the fatherly pride you have in your people. Whenever you talk about Public Works to Bob Boxer, and you talk about a certain person, a twinkle would get in his eye, a warm smile would cross his face, and you could tell that he really had pride in the people he led. And that truly is a rare thing in this world, and I thank you for that. But ultimately, what I'd really thank you the most for, and I think when we talked about this privately, is over those months where I was acting town manager, Bob and I had the opportunity to sit down on several occasions, and I got a crash course in DPW 101. I got the crash course in water and sewer, which, yes, was interesting, and got a crash course in all of the infrastructure issues confronting the town, and we had a chance to really talk and really you were able to deliver to me a perspective of the town shop guys, what they bring to the table, where their minds are, what they need from their leadership. And I think you, as well as much as anybody else, prepared me for this job. And I thank you for that. On behalf of the staff, on behalf of the management team, thank you very much for being a part of our lives. We wish you and Wendy the very best in your retirement. Got these great grandkids that you're going to probably keep you active and keep you rolling. And no, Bob, I can't call you back to work when you have to go on a scouting trip anymore. But we wish you the best. Congratulations, and thank you for everything you brought to this organization and our incredible town.
Thank you, sir. Dana Singer, I think, wants to come down, say a few words.
Mayor, members of Town Council, thank you very much for allowing me to say a few words on the occasion of Bob's retirement. We put together a few pictures from the 14 years that he's been with Herndon.
Oh, goody.
They're all good, and we'll just let that play while I speak. Again, the mayor said a common theme. I'm not lying, I got the words grace under pressure on this piece of paper because that really comes to mind when I think of Bob's tenure with the town. He's just been a steady, calm leader of public works. As you can imagine, directing the many operations performed by Public Works, there are lots of opportunities for things to go right, and on occasion, things to go a little wrong. Through all of those occasions, Bob always kept his composure, remained calm, just the voice of reason, and he kept the team focused on moving forward to get the job done. And his guiding hand was really felt in all of the work that we do. Bill mentioned his sense of humor. I'm especially going to miss that. He's got a quick wit and a happy outlook, and that really can come to the rescue, especially on the occasions when things do go a little sideways. Finally, Bob is a man of lists, particularly fond of bullet points, the executive summary, the bottom line, cutting to the chase, just give me the highlights, please. But within those bullet points, he always wanted the gory details, or as many as you could stuff in there for him. So a few additional bullet points to add to the wonderful list of accomplishments in his resolution. During Bob's 14 years with the town, his team repaired approximately 150 water main breaks, most in the middle of the night, of course.
And last week. No.
Performed 48,247 building inspections, signed 382 site plans, relocated exactly one historic yellow house, recycled 31,358 tons of recyclable materials, and collected 82,795 tons of refuse. Basically repaved the entire Herndon Parkway all the way around, and plowed 208 inches of snow from Herndon streets, surviving snowpocalypse, snowmageddon, snowzilla, and Carmageddon. All with a smile on his face. And we could be here all night listing the accomplishments, but you get the idea. He was a very busy director with a very busy team working for him. But he would be the first person to say that he's not the one that did those things. It was his team. But none of those things would have happened without his leadership. After all this good work, I know Bob is looking forward to a little rest and relaxation in his retirement. But with 9 grandchildren, I'm not really sure how that's going to work out. Bob has his lovely family with him here tonight, all of them looking forward to more time with him. I spoke briefly with his wife, Wendy, at our staff send-off last month, and Wendy said she was especially happy that Bob was finally retiring, because during every snowstorm, she was at home shoveling the snow. Because Bob was in Herndon making sure Herndon was okay, and everything was all right in Herndon, and the streets were clear for everybody in Herndon. So, Charlie, if you wouldn't mind, we just have one other thing to send you off with. I don't like the looks of it. We know you're retiring, but you still have and very important work to do.
Thank you, Dana. We have several former members of council that are here that I believe would probably like to speak. Is former Vice Mayor Smith in the room? I'm not sure I saw him come in. Okay. Vice Mayor Hutchinson.
Thank you, Connie Hutchinson, 1019 Van Buren Street. Bob, it was a pleasure to be able to work with you on many of those projects that they named off for the town, not only because of your professionalism, but also, as they've mentioned, because of your demeanor. And I don't think I ever saw you angry or upset. And in 14 years, that says something. I also want to thank you for your leadership, because as they've mentioned, the DPW staff is the jewel of Herndon, and that comes from being empowered to go the extra mile, to do something for a citizen that's not in your job description, and they do it regularly. And I think that's because you have empowered them to take that initiative. So thank you for that. I wish you well. Basically, I wish you fair weather and smooth sailing.
Thank you. Councilmember Downer, did you want to come forward? Okay. Followed by Councilmember Waddell. Oh, he's fine.
Richard Downer, 815
Uh-oh.
Branch Drive, Unit 308. We're getting there slowly but surely. I had the pleasure of serving on the council for 10 of the 14 years that Bob was with us. Confidence means so much when a staff member is making a presentation to you and you know you're getting a straight story, you know that it can be done, you know that you will provide the leadership that's necessary. Also in Bob's particular case, and we talked about it the other day, Public Works just gets things done. But when they don't get done is when people notice it. But they're out there every day with our new sophisticated trash truck and all the different things that we've been doing. It just makes me very proud to be a citizen of Herndon, and hopefully will be for a long time. And I wish you the best. I was very sad the other day. He pulled over. He saw me walking. He pulled over and said, I'm going to be retiring, and that, but just like when Mary said she was going to leave, but I know there's good people that are going to step in their place and do the job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Waddell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of Town Council, members of town staff, fellow citizens, Wendy, Bob. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for the town. My speech will be short because you all have covered everything very well. The resolution, the Town Council comments, but I do want to highlight two things that y'all have touched upon very well, but especially speak to me. Quality of life. The quality of life you and your team have brought to and enhanced in the town of Herndon is unmatched any place I've been or lived. Thank you. Your leadership. Thomas Fuller quote I've got here, "If you command wisely, you will be followed cheerfully." And I've seen that in your team. In fact, another thing, I can see that you were an adjunct professor when I was on council and asked some questions about road projects or financing road projects. I learned a lot from you. The master's degree answer helped enhance my understanding of how government and financing and road projects really work. Thank you. I got thinking about his leadership and his team because we're also honoring his team. They are the hometown favorites. He is a hometown favorite. And I saw a parallel that was readily apparent. Redskins, DPW, then the coach that leads a winning team, Joe Gibbs. And it's no coincidence that the number of letters in Joe Gibbs' name and Bob Boxer's is the same. A great leader. Thanks for the excellence.
Thank you. I believe our former town manager, Art Ansling, wants to come forward.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Art Ansling, 714 Huntsman Place, Herndon, Virginia. It's nice to be on the other side of the dais.
There are a lot of happy retirees in this room tonight.
Well, this weekend we were at a family reunion and somebody said, "How are things going?" I said, "Just smile. Life's great." It was, but anyway, I just want to come down and to thank Bob for off his 14 years within the town. Certainly enjoyed working with him. We always had our battles going back and forth on projects and different things. And just, and we talked a few weeks ago about the tremendous amount of work that there is in the Public Works Department that you have. And it is a huge amount of work, and most people don't begin to realize what it is. And we know that many of them bring a lot of controversies with them, and particularly in road projects and things that affect the individual citizens and neighborhoods. And, you know, Bob always handled the stress of dealing with all those, as it was pointed out, in the greatest fashion. You know, it never got flustered, always looked back, okay, what do we need to do to move forward to make things work and find the best possible solutions to getting there, and Bob did an excellent job with that. And, well, I don't think the stress from Public Works totally goes away from Bob. He does get, I think, impacted with a new stress because now he has more time to spend with those 9 grandchildren to look at how he keeps them all entertained and happy. But I'm sure it's a much more enjoyable kind of stress to have as well also. It's a fun stress. So I wish Bob the greatest congratulations in his retirement, and again, thank him for his wonderful work with the town of Herndon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to come forward and say a few words for Bob? Yes, ma'am. Miss Toohey, I was hoping that's why you were here.
And this may be the last time I will be here for a while unless somebody else decides they're going to retire. I'm Mary Toohey. I'm the former finance director for the town of Herndon, and I've had the privilege and the pleasure of working with Bob Boxer since he arrived at the HMC in May of 2003. As the resolution reads, Bob has been involved in practically every major town project and program over the past 14 years. He has accomplished these feats always with the utmost integrity, patience, confidence, and good humor. Bob is resourceful and tries to find workable solutions for all the perplexing problems thrown his way. He is quick to recognize and compliment the work of others, since it takes a team to facilitate a smooth-running town operation. When other staff members panic over the latest process glitch, and there have been a few, finance, public works, various other places, Bob always seems to take the stresses and challenges of the public works director's job in his stride. He is a great example of town leadership, and over the years, I've learned a lot from his calm, capable, and persistent style. Bob, I wish you and Wendy and your kids and your grandkids much happiness and many exciting adventures as you launch into yet another chapter in your lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward? Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how to do this.
You're
And I
doing-
live
you're
in
doing
Hershey.
it.
I'm not a proper citizen. I apologize. You guys know him as Bob. We know him as Dad, and he loves this town so much. We have so many maps of Herndon, it's like ridiculous. And we use them. No GPS in our house. You bust out the Herndon map, and he has so much pride in all he's done, and we're so proud of him. And I want him to know that we're so grateful for all the sacrifices he made for this town, and he really truly made it better. And he loved the people he worked with, like you said. He really did. And he would come home with, like, stories or something, and we don't know everyone, but, just like you said, how he felt so much pride in everybody. And especially, I worked a little bit one summer with the shop guys, and he just, the bond that he had with even the people he didn't see every day. And he just really was really good at being a boss, but also your everyday guy. And we're just so proud of him. And he did a lot of accomplishments for the town. And I'd like to joke around and say all these things that you guys are saying is nice was just a front, but it wasn't. That's just who he was at home, and just a great guy. And I'm gonna not on his watch though. He's done. Sorry, but we're just so proud of him, and we love him so much. And our circus is going to be out of here soon, so don't.
Oh, no. I love having you here. All right, who's going to follow that? Okay, fair enough.
I just want to echo what my sister said. We are very proud of my dad, and I agree with her and all the wonderful things that you say. That sense of humor is at our house all the time, too. And he's kind of pulled double duty. He is just as much there for you as he is for us. And so I wanted to say thank you for the acknowledgement and recognition that you've given him tonight. And I also want to say that we hope that he does enjoy retirement. But after 6 months, if there's any volunteer work that you needed to do, we would gladly accept recommendations. But we're very proud of him, and we're extremely excited to spend more time with him and to travel with him and to play games with him and do things that we are excited to do in retirement. We're looking forward to it. And again, thank you so much for recognizing our dad.
It's our pleasure. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward? Chief. Oh. Certainly. Go right ahead.
Sorry. Just a couple of seconds. After both my sisters came up, I felt every eye in the first 4 rows looking back at me, asking, what are you going to say? I don't know. I just wanted to thank the town council for recognizing my father tonight. It really, as has been said, it's a labor of love for him. I remember going over plans and teaching me all types of different ways to build things. You guys saw him build towns. I saw him repair toilets and home plumbing.
We saw him do that too.
Yeah. So It's really a proud moment for me as a son and as a friend to hear my father be honored in such a remarkable fashion. I thank you all for that. And Dad, we love you, and well done.
Come on down, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. On behalf of the entire HPD family, Bob, I know we said thank you at our luncheon a week or so ago, but I wanted to certainly be here to represent all of the Herndon Police Department. I can tell you these stories aren't a front because I'm not allowed to lie, so I can tell you it's true. Bob welcomed me here over 5 years ago into the Herndon family, and he made my transition very, very easy for me, and for that I very much appreciate it. Our working relationship with HPD has to be very strong, has to be very tight. We went through some tense times with things that go good, that go bad, but the two staffs always were so flexible with each other, always working together. And I know where that comes from, Bob. It comes from you. It comes from Dana and others that you've mentored and guided and have prepared for this job. That was never more evident this past year. In June, when I asked to close Eldon Street a week before the festival, and I remember Dana coming down on behalf of you to the meeting and looking at me and said, "You want to do what?" But the next sentence out of her mouth was, "Absolutely, whatever you need, we'll make it work." And I know that comes from you, so I greatly appreciate that. I know all of my people over at HPD truly appreciated all that you've done. I do know I can find you if we need you, and maybe we'll just call you for one of those conference calls in the middle of the night. No, your leadership is greatly appreciated, and thank you for your friendship and certainly your work ethic and your flexibility over the years. All of us at HPD have truly appreciated it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come forward? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Come on down.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. You're going to need a snowplow to go with that shovel. It's pleasant working with you. Now that you're on the other side of the field, I know it's been a stressful year, and with all the headaches and everything that comes along with it, it's hard to replace those shoes. You need to pass on some of the wisdom that's what this world needs. So I want to thank you.
Oh, thank you. Good evening.
My name is Bessie Denton. I live at 496 Virginia Avenue. And Mr. Boxer, on behalf of my friend, Miss Emma Cole, I told her that you were retiring. And she says, "Oh, no, not now." Because she's one of the persons that, there's a lot of people sometimes in Herndon that don't believe that the town council, the staff, or anyone will listen to them or pay attention to anything that they feel like that they need. So I brought her to a meeting with me. And she says, "What do I do here?" And I said, "This is a meeting you sit silently and just listen." So when the meeting was over, I had shown her that you were the man. And I said, "Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce you to him, and you tell him exactly what you need, and it will get done." She was so amazed. It was less than 48 hours. Everything she requested had been taken care of. And she says, "Yes, it does work." Yes. So I want to thank you on behalf of Ms. Cole. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward? Okay, well, thank you. We are going to invite down Bob and your entire family, that would like, anyone that would like to come down for the presentation, along with the manager, town attorney, the entire town council. Anyone that is here from former councils or staff, management, friends of Bob, we would welcome everyone to come forward that would like for the presentation. And then Bob gets the last word.
Everybody do like a double or triple row.
I just want to warn you, you're all going to be on my Christmas card this
A key to the town? It unlocks the phone. Do you want to hold that? You got it? Here, I think you should hold it.
Turkey's hiding.
Eagle Scout. It's not too shabby.
Did you see the shovel? Bob says Bob snow shovel.
You know, I really had originally asked for this to be on consent, and I kind of wish I had
Not a
held
chance.
held my guns. But thank you so much to everyone who's here and who spoke. It's quite humbling, and I've always been very thankful for the opportunity to work in Herndon. You know, after a long career, this is really what I wanted, and it was the cherry on the sundae, and it was just exciting. You know, I heard leadership and teamwork, and you know, I'll speak to teamwork. It starts right here, and it goes through the management team, and you heard the chief and other departments. We work so closely with them, and it is seamless. There are no silos. We're on the same team. And same thing in the department. You know, we have probably 14 different groups that come together and pull apart as they need to, and it's a thing of beauty to watch. And the most important thing, I think, is leadership, and it's not me. Leadership is throughout the organization, which is what makes it so nice. We got people who step up when it's their time to step up, and when they're going, you let them go because they know what they're doing, and it's really been a joy. I love to get things done. I love to see things get kept right, and the Public Works team, and with the help of you all, and the other departments, town managers, and police, and Parks and Rec, and golf, and finance, and community development, all of them. It's a thing of beauty. I feel good about the time here. I feel good about where Public Works is. I'm proud of what we've done, but I'm even prouder of what we're about to do. It's going to be a great period of time in Herndon, and as I told Bill, I'll be on the sideline rooting as loud as anybody to see it happen, and it's exciting to watch. I definitely don't want to forget to mention Wendy. You know, I forgot that at my meeting, and I kicked myself for doing it. But you know, you need support at home when you're, as you guys know, public service is a pain in the neck. You're out a lot of nights and responding to calls and emergencies, and she's been so great in keeping the home front covered and a real rock so that we can play around up here in Herndon. Thank you again. I'm so humble. This was very, very nice, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you. You can borrow the kids anytime.
I hope they'll come back. I love it when kids are in the audience.
I guarantee the meetings will be shorter.
Oh. Thank you all for being here, and thank you, Bob. That brings us to comments. Mr. Town Manager, do you have any comments for us?
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor. We received this week a few congratulatory letters and emails. One was from a former general manager, presumably of a golf course, and he was commenting on how well the staff performed at the golf course, how well the course played, and he was very impressed, and he's going to certainly come back, and I just want to extend my thanks to Gene for the great work he does out there. The other came by way of the camp counselors at Parks and Rec. They've been getting a lot of really phenomenal feedback on just how great they're working with the kids, and I want to extend my thanks to Cindy and her crew on a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Friedrichs, any comments for us?
I have a couple of pieces of good news to share. First of all, I want to welcome my neighbors who have come here to they're very shy and retiring, but I want to thank them for coming and participating in the civic life of Herndon. Next, I want to mention that Arts Herndon has recently received a grant of over $16,000 from the Arts Council of Fairfax County, which I'm very proud of, and congratulations. Anna Schoenfeld is here from Arts Herndon, and they're doing amazing work over there. And the third thing I wanted to mention is that, as some of you know, I work with the Herndon High School Rotary Club. It's called the Interact Club, and this year they've received, for the second year in a row, the Rotary Presidential Citation for their service to the town and to the world. And the categories are in peace and conflict resolution, disease prevention and treatment, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education, literacy, and economic and community development. And this year they raised funds for a group called Hope for Haiti that provides clean water solutions for Haitian people in Haiti. They collected all kinds of funds and toiletries for people in the Embry-Rucker homeless shelter. They provided what do you call it? Darn. I should write these things down. They provided help with the Excel tutoring at the Herndon Elementary School. So this is a bunch of great kids, and Rotary is recognizing them at the presidential level. So I think that's a very cool thing, and I hope that you will follow their progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Olam.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you all know, the Kids Post is one of my favorite things to read in the Post. So they've had a couple of really neat things. Last week there was a lot of buzz on the radio, TV, and in the Kids Post that for the past decade the bees have been affected by this colony collapse where the colonies die. And this past year, they finally increased, so we didn't have as many collapsing. And it's because so many farmers and individuals are now getting into beekeeping, and I'm into my gardening, so I'm glad to hear the bees are back. So celebrate that with the folks at Runnymede in the fall when they do the Nature Fest. Also, the eclipse is coming, so 2 weeks from yesterday. So if you don't have your glasses, they had a neat little article in the Post today talking about why you need to have special glasses, and I'm sure if you go on numerous news websites, you can find out where to get them. I picked them up from one of our local optometrists, Dr. Finley, but unless you get over there and order them, they've already had to reorder a couple of times. So make sure you have some glasses if you're going to go look at the eclipse. And then we have another election in Virginia, August 29th, special election, especially if you've got children in school or you think about the school system. There will be an election to fill a at-large school member, board member seat. So that's countywide. So if you live in Fairfax County, anywhere and you're watching, you can go vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Davidson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Last Tuesday night, we were delighted to ride around town and visit a number of communities in town. I want to thank staff, HPD, and everybody else in the town of Herndon who had a part of that. And certainly I want to thank all the new residents that we met for the first time or for the a second time at those different locations that invited us out. So that was a great event, and we're very happy to do that. Also on the consent agenda tonight, there is a resolution that is paving the way towards the changes that are going to come to Herndon as part of the Dulles Metro Phase 2. And that's a parking resolution that we're looking forward at what might be problems that arise because of the new metro station in Herndon, and we're taking advantage of having the time now to address some of those. So I just wanted to note that we're doing well there and getting Herndon ready for the coming of Metro. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McKenna.
Just a few things. I want to echo what Mr. Davidson said in regards to National Night Out on Tuesday. It was a real great time. Just seeing especially the kids interact with the police was really cool, and the relationship they had. So I want to thank the chief and everybody else who made that happen. Also want to thank the town of Herndon, specifically the DPW, police, town staff, Fairfax Fire and Rescue, Columbia Gas, and business owners. We had a gas main break in Eldon Street on Friday that could have been a lot worse everything worked out fine, but people were more concerned about Friday Night Live than actually what was going on in Eldon Street. But, you know, everyone in an emergency situation, I mean, especially the firemen, I mean, they were in full gear and it was like 93 degrees. So I just want to thank everyone for being available for that. Also, yesterday, Jimmy had his golf outing, Jimmy's Old Town Tavern at Hidden Creek. Jennifer and I participated, the vice mayor. I was the beat the hack, she was the trivia master, and I actually did better than I think a lot of people expected. One shot was literally, I'm not kidding, about 3 inches from the cup. I was very excited about that. Will never happen again. And then I just want to also congratulate Dana Singer. We're celebrating Mr. Boxer's retirement, but congratulations on your promotion, and I'm looking forward to getting a phone call at 2 o'clock in the morning when something goes wrong. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Cunningham.
Certainly just want to echo my fellow council members' thanks to the police department for hosting, and the communities for hosting a really nice national night out. If your community would like to get involved, look for that. We take submissions from communities. You don't have to have an HOA, just be a neighborhood block party. Come out and let us roll through the neighborhood, and it's a great opportunity for you to engage your family with the police department. And they're a lot of fun. Also, I want to offer my congratulations to new Director of Public Works, Dana Singer, and look forward to hearing all your fun staff reports on water and sewer, yay. And upcoming in Herndon, we've got a couple neat events. If you haven't been to Chalk the Town, next Wednesday before Third Thursday, it'll be, I think, Wednesday the 15th? 16th. We will be chalking downtown in preparation for Third Thursday, so come on out and have a little fun.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
Sure. Yeah, I want to echo just one more shout out about National Night Out, because it's really, it's of course a national event, but I think Herndon does it better than most communities, and it's just, again, reflective of our police department and how much they are focused on community policing every day of the year. And it's just that one day we celebrate it like the rest of the country does, but we really, our police department with the chief's leadership is really doing that every day of the year. So thank you for that. There's 3 more Friday Night Lives. I haven't talked about that lately, so there's 3 more Friday Night Lives, so please make sure you come out. But have no fear, once Friday Night Live ends, you have the 5 Fridays in September where you'll have Jam Brew. So there's always something going on in Herndon. Jam Brew is sponsored by the Herndon Hospitality Committee, and this year they're working with Aslan Brewery, so our microbrewery in town. So that'll be exciting. And they also culminate that event with Oktoberfest on that all day on Saturday, September 30th. And also, just one more opportunity for drinking is the Labor Day, the Wine and Beer Festival on Labor Day, September 4th, downtown. So lots going on. Thanks.
Thank you. I was going to mention that festival, but I can cross that out. Sure. I know. I wanted to also echo my thanks for National Night Out. We have so many communities participating in our 4 square miles that we usually break up into 2 groups to try and visit all of the neighborhoods, and we're thinking we may have to break it up into 3 next year because there are just so many we can't get to all of them and spend enough time. So thanks to everybody for that work to put that together for us. We have some kind of fun end of the summer activities going on at the Herndon Community Center. I wanted to mention there's a Kids Wet and Wild Day on Saturday, October 12th. There's a Glow in the Dark Activity Night on Saturday, August 19th. So you can find information about that on our website, which is herndon-va.gov. And this is our only public hearing for the month of August. So our next work session will be Tuesday, September 5th, and our next public hearing will be Tuesday, September 12th. So the next portion of the agenda is the time when anyone can come forward to mention anything they'd like for us to hear about that is not on our public hearing items this evening. Please state your name and address for the record. You have up to 3 minutes. And when you see the red light go on, try to wrap up. Good evening.
Good evening.
You waited a long time, but it was a fun one, at least, so we're glad you were here for a good one.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Welcome.
Well, thanks. Good evening, members of Town Council. My name is Jennifer Santiago. I live at 1054 Berwick Drive. I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to speak regarding an increasingly dangerous situation in the entrance to our quaint and tight-knit neighborhood, the Estates at Eagle Eye. We have several members of my neighborhood here, also supporting the issue that we're experiencing. So the entrance at our neighborhood is at Ferndale Avenue and Berwick Drive, and recently the parking at our one entrance exit has become increasingly hazardous. The entrance is hazardous for the following reasons, but certainly not limited to these reasons. One, there are cars parked from the stop sign at Ferndale Avenue back to the intersection with Timpani Court, and on the other side from the junction of Ferndale Avenue and Berwick Drive back to the driveway of 1054 Berwick. This creates a very narrow one-way passage for our enter and exit for the neighborhood. So two, due to the parking on the one entrance exit to the neighborhood, it becomes completely blind. Essentially, you enter at your own peril, not knowing if not knowing if there is a car incoming while you are outgoing, and vice versa. Three, people walk this intersection regularly on their way to the W&OD trail and are in danger of being hit due to the lack of visibility and cross safely. I will say that my husband also read this statement before I left the house, of course, right as I'm trying to leave. And he is a runner, and he mentioned that many times he's crossed the intersection and had very narrow escapes, which makes me super excited. That was sarcasm, because I'm really not excited about it. All right, so four. This is our neighborhood's bus stop, and in a matter of weeks, our children will walk to this stop. Some cross Ferndale, and the lack of visibility and danger of this intersection scares me for the safety of my own children, let alone the nearly 15 other children at this bus stop. We've already had one head-on collision of vehicles at the entrance in the neighborhood, and we're lucky there's only been one at this point. We, the neighborhood of the estates at Eagle Eye, are asking for an easy, long-term, and cost-effective solution. One, paint the curbs yellow. Two, post no parking here to corner signs at both sides of the street so the entrance is clear and safe. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate your attention to the safety of our community. And I have several signatures. I'll also add that for the eclipse, Warby Parker is giving away glasses for free, so just stop by and get some glasses. I got mine.
Thank you for coming in. I know that I've heard from some of you, and I believe the Department of Public Works has been looking into what can be done, and we're looking for a solution there. And I drive through there every morning after dropping my daughter off at Clearview, and there are kids everywhere, so I see exactly what you're talking about. Thank you for coming. Is there anyone else that would like to come forward on any item? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nicole Wickenheiser, 1109 Berwick Drive. So I have 3 points that I'd like to bring up. The first one is about the traffic situation. I was the one involved in the head-on collision. As I turned left onto Berwick, someone was exiting Berwick, coming out, and she was not looking at the road, she was looking down. For whatever reason, I stopped my car, but there was no way that I could have moved to avoid her, and she had veered over slightly, so there was no room, for her to pass. She hit me directly head on. My front end was totaled, and I was at a complete stop. The police said that she was not speeding. So this is a simple thing that she just looked down for a minute. This terrible thing happened because she hadn't anticipated that anyone was coming in, and I was 2 car lengths onto Berwick Drive when this happened. There's no visibility. It's very dangerous. So the second thing that I'd like to bring up is Chandon Dog Park. I would really like you guys to be able to go and take a look there. I've called Fairfax County to their park authority. They say that inside the dog park is the town of Herndon's responsibility. It is very dangerous. It's littered with rocks. There's deep, rugged ruts that run along the park on the inside. There are roots, big root systems exposed that, a good wind could totally knock those things down. I just really feel like if we're going to offer a dog park here in the town of Herndon, it should be a safe one. Bunch of dogs get their feet, their paws sliced, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. And then the third thing, and I know I'm close to my time, but my son had his bike stolen for the second time this past Sunday in the middle of the day on our front step, right in front of our house, and I live up a long pipe stem. The problem is that we live on the W&OD, and the traffic that goes up and down is you see a bike, you grab a bike, you drop it when you get to wherever you're going. And the police know this. They do what they can. They find the bikes. They basically throw them, they take them, they haul them away, they dispose of them however they're disposing of them. But it's a big problem. Out of my bushes, if I'm walking on the W&OD, I can find a bike probably at least once a week, at least, if not more. And, I call the town, and I'm like, another bike. And this is the second one, but from my house again. That's 5 bikes stolen from out of my driveway since we've been living here. And it's not a big deal. They're bicycles. It's not the worst thing. But when crime comes to be an issue, it shouldn't be something that's not a priority, I think. Anyway, those are my 3 points. Thanks for my time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm M. Teresa Yakub, 1119 Berwick. 2 things about I'm just learning about the bikes being stolen. A week ago, I called the police because somebody placed a very expensive bike inside of the wooded area at the end of the cul-de-sac, which is where I live. So you have a report of that, our officer isn't here. I was just surprised that someone just left a bike like that there, and we're assuming that it was stolen because it was an expensive bike. Number 2, I have a small car, and it's very low. So when I come around that little curve on Berwick Drive, you cannot see me at all. So will you please take our concern seriously? Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward and speak on any item that's not listed as a public hearing item? Mr. Downer.
This is on a consent item.
Yes, sir.
Specifically 17017. My name is Richard Downer. I live now with my wife, at 815 Branch Drive, number 308. I'll get that down after a few years. I have been lobbying for a long time for us to enforce parking, and I want to endorse this effort, and glad to see that you're having someone in the police department designated to be nothing but a parking enforcement officer. I saw this done in Woodstock, Virginia, and it was done very well, and I hope we will do it the same way here. The first few weeks, they give out warnings, because I can tell you right now, there are people all over town that have parked in 2-hour parking, the whole day for a long, long time. So you can't change everybody overnight. So I think you're going to be better off if they do, I'll talk with the chief about that, but to give some warnings to people first. Woodstock actually had a thing that says, here's where the public parking is. So you don't have to park here. You can park over here all you want to. And they kept track of it, and it actually made friends out of people who realized it. And frankly, I don't understand, some of the local business owners will park in front of their own restaurant, very frankly, all day long. But anyway, I endorse what you all are doing, and I'm glad to see you're able to find the money to make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else who would like to come forward and speak on any item that's not a public hearing item? And that does include the consent agenda. Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate you all coming. We do have 2 public hearings we're going to address those concurrently. It's Resolution 17G66 to authorize the reserve of fiscal 2017 funding for capital, ongoing, new, or expanded projects and for outstanding encumbrances, and Ordinance 17016 to amend the budget to make that happen. We're going to ask staff, we'll present these 2 staff reports concurrently. We will hold the public hearing, and following that, I will call on comments from the audience, and we will take separate action.
Mayor, excuse me.
Sorry.
Were we dropping 17013, the zoning reorganization, down? I don't believe it's changed order. Just a clarification.
Oh, yes. I messed up. Sorry, I turned my page too quickly. Sorry.
Do over.
Do over. Sorry. I just got back from vacation. What can I say? I apologize, I flipped the page too soon. I took notes on the dog park and the stolen bikes down at the bottom, and I thought I was done. I apologize. The first ordinance is Ordinance 17013 to reorganize Chapter 78, the zoning ordinance, so to 1701. This public hearing was continued from July 11th to allow additional time for staff to insert some recommended changes by the Planning Commission and the Town Council. So we'll go ahead and open the public hearing and call on staff from Community Development for the staff report. Thank you, Mr. Osell, and thank you, Madam Town Attorney, for keeping me straight. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Mayor. And as council members know, this project was part of your 2035 Vision Strategic Plan, so that's where this originally started. And we've been working on that now, I think, for about a year to bring this to fruition. And as I said before, with the reorganization, that's basically what it is. We've not made any changes to any of the regulations in the ordinance, but merely reorganized the articles in a more efficient manner. We've consolidated topics from different parts of the ordinance into one section. We've reduced the number of subsections, which makes it easier to find things. As well as greatly expanding the table of contents. I think it's 32 pages or something like that now long. It's just a table of contents, so it's very easy to find things now. I believe we've achieved what you wanted us to do by making a more efficient and user-friendly ordinance. And if you agree this evening, we've drafted an ordinance for your consideration for adoption. And I think I'll just stop there because this is about the fourth time I've presented this to you. So I know you know it well. So if there's any questions from council members.
Okay, sure. Are there any questions for Ray on this very well organized and well thought out document? If you are following at home, this is how big it is if you print it all out. So it's a lot of work. Any questions for staff before we go on? Okay. Thank you. Is that your whole staff report? Look at that. Okay, so this is a public hearing, so if there's anyone in the audience that would like to come forward and speak on this reorganization, it is not a rewrite, it is simply reorganizing what was already there into a more usable, user-friendly format. Is there anyone that would like to come forward and speak on this public hearing item? Okay. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing and move to council level for discussion and action. Ms. Olam.
Madam Mayor, I move approval of 70-0-13.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Discussion on the motion. Ms.
I
Olam.
just want to thank staff for being so thorough and responsive when all of us had questions at work sessions and comments and so forth, and that was a lot of work. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I think the end product is going to be much easier for people to access.
Thank you. Any further comments? Ms. Friedrichs.
I know that concerns about the zoning ordinances have been an issue since long before I had any interest whatsoever in the town council, and I know that it's going to make a big difference, so I really appreciate all your work.
Other discussion? Mr. McKenna.
Just want, again, thank you, but also Planning Board as well. I know they had some input on this, and just the collaboration between the two bodies really shows that there's no I in team in Herndon, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? No, well, I echo the comments of my colleagues, and I know this has been a lot of work for a lot of people for a really long time, and so we are all grateful for your work on this. So if there's no further discussion, I will call the question on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion carries. Now, thank you. Now we're back to where I thought we were. The next two public hearings are budget items. So we'll have the staff report on these two items concurrently, and then we'll have to take separate action. And since I already said that a minute ago, if everybody's clear on that, I'm just going to turn right over to open the public hearing and call on Jenny Tripoli again. Sorry, I was just kidding earlier. To brief us on these two items.
Thank you, and once again, good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. This is one of the town's annual fiscal year-end exercises where we review and approve reserving unexpended funds that for various work programs or projects that we've not completed. Again?
One of these days, oh, there it is, I will get this right. Red means on.
Aren't you glad
this.
they're here?
Thank you.
Thank goodness. Oh, okay.
So this is an annual fiscal year-end exercise that we go through to review and approve reserving unexpended funds for various work programs or projects that were not completed by June 30th. Without this authorization, even though the work or acquisition requirements may still be valid, the funding would not be there that would be necessary to accomplish this. And so the resolution before you contains 3 schedules listing staff recommended reserve funding. Schedule 2 lists unexpended funding for the existing operating and minor capital accounts. I'm sorry, Schedule 1 has new requests. Schedule 2 is existing operating and minor capital accounts for the general fund and the 4 enterprise funds. And then, of course, Schedule 3 is the capital projects fund and the information systems capital projects fund. So I will go over the 2 new items very briefly. The first request is from Finance for approximately $150,000, and that is for taxes that we have to pay because the retiree stipend for health insurance was not treated properly. It should have been reported on Form W-2. And we also had to engage a couple experts to make sure that we get this right. And so that's what that reserve request is for. And the second one is from police for a vehicle that was totaled by a perp. And most of it is coming through insurance funding. Of course, that insurance funding is net of a $5,000 deductible. Based on the FY17 reserve revenues and vacancy savings, there is adequate funding for these requests. So please let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions for Ms. Tripoli? Nope. Okay. Thank you very much. Did you need to speak to the budget amendment, or we've already covered that?
The budget amendment is simply to
enact what we need to do.
Make it so, to quote Captain.
Right. To make it so.
Card.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So if there's no questions from council, this is a public hearing, so we'll call on comments from the audience. This is your opportunity to speak on either 17G66 or the budget appropriation, which is 17016. Is there anyone that would like to come forward and speak on these 2 items? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. And first, we will take action on the resolution to authorize the reserve of fiscal year 2017 funding for these projects. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion on the motion. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. And so the next motion is on the appropriations ordinance, which is 17016. This requires a majority of the town council, which is 4, and does require a roll call vote. So I will ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember Cunningham.
Yes.
Councilmember Davidson.
Yes.
Councilmember Friedrich.
Yes.
Councilmember McKenna.
Yes.
Councilmember Olin.
Yes.
Mayor Merkel.
Yes, and I believe I did not get a motion on the floor, did I? Okay. Is there a motion to approve this resolution, or this ordinance, rather?
So moved.
Oh, my goodness, you guys. Okay. Do we need to redo the vote with the motion on the floor? Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor Baker.
Yes.
Councilmember Cunningham.
Yes.
Councilmember Davidson.
Yes.
Councilmember Friedrichs.
Yes.
Councilmember McKenna.
Yes.
Councilmember Olin.
Yes.
Mayor Merkel.
Yes, that motion carries. Geez. Is there a motion for the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries. That concludes our agenda this evening.
Madam Mayor, seeing no other business, I move we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And that motion carries, and we are adjourned at 8:29 p.m.
Welcome back from vacation.